All right, good afternoon, everyone. We have Jeff Fassett from Principal Sloan today for our webinar series, and he is going to be talking about LED Wizard 8 and also the Easy Layout Builder. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A and we can read them as we go through, or you can save them till the end. Jeff?
Thank you very much. I want to confirm you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Terrific. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you guys can see this?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, hi, everyone. My name's Jeff, and I run the group here within Principal Sloan that does LED Wizard software and our Easy Layout Builder online layout tool, among other projects. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I see a lot of names here, so thanks for spending an hour. I have a PowerPoint, and mixed in with this will be a couple of demos of our software. First, the Easy Layout Builder, and then LED Wizard 8, and a fairly packed schedule, I think, for what I want to cover. So I'll try to move along quickly. Yeah, if you do have questions, go ahead and ask them. Some of the questions might get answered as I go, but I'm happy to stop if anything is confusing or you guys want to clarify anything that I'm saying. So here's the agenda, and without further ado, we can get into it. So I came into Principal Sloan from Aries Graphics, and Aries Graphics was launched by my father way back, and we did Sign Wizard, Neon Wizard, and LED Wizard software. All these products, of course, we're still selling. And about 4 years ago, we were acquired by Principal LED, who had been a partner of ours for many years on LED Wizard. And so we've been with the Principal Group for a little over 4 years now. And you may have also heard about other acquisitions into Principal Industries, starting with Ventex, and then us, Aries Graphics, and then of course Sloan LED. We now have 5 brands in the business that we support and promote. Specifically with LED Wizard, we offer a lot of free products and free services in support of our customers and in support of our distributors. And so these are the 3 things that we'll be talking about today. This slide is, I see a few more folks coming on. This slide is really what I want to speak to for a minute, because it's really a great way to think about how you can get support from us for layouts. And so we have 3 options, and these 3 options make up what I call the LED Wizard platform. There's Easy Layout Builder, our online tool, LED Wizard 8, our desktop software, and then of course our internal layout team. And so some of what I want to talk about today is, for you as shops needing to get layouts and get jobs quoted and get jobs produced, which one of these 3 options do you use for a given job? And so I'll try to address that as I go through today. Easy Layout Builder 2.0 on the Principal Sloan website is merged now with all of our Principal LED products, and our Sloan LED products are there together, so it makes it easy for you to use both products. So this is an online layout tool. It works in your browser. It works on your tablet. It works on your phone. This is for making estimates for jobs that we say are standard. And what we mean by that is that you don't import custom artwork into the Easy Layout Builder. We have a set of fonts, and we have some shapes that you can design, and I'll show this to you in a minute. So even with not being able to import, there is a lot of stuff that you can do in the online version. We get thousands and thousands of layouts a month that go through the system. You can do a text job, you can do a cabinet job, you can do both of those together in the same job. It's actually quite powerful. In the end, after you do this layout, you get an email with the PDF, and the PDF will show the layout and all of the details, such as how many modules and how many drivers. Okay, so that's Easy Layout Builder. And then there are some jobs that have custom artwork or otherwise beyond the ability of the Easy Layout Builder, and that's what we have LED Wizard 8 for. This is our desktop software that runs on your PC. It can run on your Mac if you have a Windows environment on your Mac, which a lot of our customers do. And LED Wizard 8 is for estimates, but it's also for production. And so we have a separate production edition that, among other things, takes the layout and can export some of that data out as a DXF file to go to your router, to go to your channel letter bender machine. We create a layer of data that indicates the position of each LED just with a little line, so that you can make sure that when you produce that you're consistent with where you put the LEDs and that you use the correct quantity and they're in the right place. So LED Wizard 8, this is our customers use this, our internal team uses this, and you should use it too. And if you are using it and you need additional help and training, I do that on my team as well. If you're interested in this and you want more info beyond what we can do today, then you can contact me and my group can help you. The third item here is our internal layout team. And this is a group of folks who are running LED Wizard 8 all day long. And these are for jobs that, maybe you don't know what product to use, or you're having trouble with your artwork, or, your normal layout person is sick or on vacation, or, you don't need a reason to send a job into us. Our folks will take your art and take your instructions and make layouts for you. And sometimes, again, this is large programs. Sometimes this might be, I'll talk about this in a sec, what we call specialty layouts. It might be a flex layout. It might be an RGB layout. It might be, border tubing and that sort of thing. And that's what we do on our team. So if you have jobs like that, go ahead and send those in to us. And so in looking at this as a big picture, when a job comes into the shop, and you're aware of these three options, you figure out which one of these that you want to use for that given job. And I like to talk about these three together because sometimes shops, only focus on one of these. And well, I can't do that job in Easy Layout Builder. What am I going to do? Or, you don't need to fire up LED Wizard 8 if it's a really simple cabinet. You can get that done online in a couple of minutes. And our layout team is always there as well. So that's why I show this. Think about when a job comes in, which one of these that you want to do. So I'm going to start with, in terms of more specifics, with the Easy Layout Builder. I've mentioned that it has a channel letter interface and a sign cabinet interface where it runs and what it creates, which is this final PDF. A lot of our customers will take our PDF and turn it right back around and send it into their TubeLight Denco rep, as an order. And so it can be a very clean process. I mentioned here that we do have, we have one on the Principal Sloan site. We do have one dedicated on the Sloan LED website, which is really more for international jobs and international folks needing to do layouts, using metric units, for example. And so that's on the sloanled.com site. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the Principal Sloan version. And so real fast, if there are any questions, I'm just going to go through. I'm going to do one text layout, and then I'll do one cabinet layout and show you what this looks like. And just in the interest of time, I haven't shown how to log in, but this is very easy to find on the Principal Sloan website. And there's a simple login form that has this information that you have to enter. So on the text interface, we have two options for the type of layout, which is a face lit or a halo lit. We then have a selector for the letter size, which goes from 8 inches all the way to 96 inches. I'll go ahead and select 36. We have can depth, a large range of can depth, and of course we have products for these different depth ranges. We also have our list of fonts, and so notice I'm going left to right. So as I'm selecting these options, I'm then filtering the modules that will be available. So if I select 5 inches, that's pretty common. A lot of our modules support 5 inches. If I selected 2 or if I selected 8, for example, that would be a much more of a filter on the available modules. And then I'll select my font, and of course we have a range of fonts with different weights and different styles. And I'll just do, say, Future Demi Bold. We also have a selector for voltage. So of course we have 12 volt and 24 volt products. I'm going to select 24 volt, and I want to show you the new Prism Synergy range. And so why don't I do Prism Synergy Spec Colors? And that gives me an opportunity to show you that there's a color filter as well. And I'll select red. So by the time I've done this, my module list is just one module. If I'm not interested to make all these selections, I can go straight to the module list and a huge list will drop down. And then I can just select the module that I want from that. We also have our list of drivers, and we have some new drivers as well. We have the Energizer series and the Ventex plastic series to go along with a couple of our other drivers, including a larger 300. But I'm just going to stay with our 96 watt. And then here's my my text field, and I'm just going to put in Principal Sloan. I've already got that sort of saved in here, and then I'll click on populate. Okay, so here's the layout as it comes up. I have my scale, I have my module count below each letter. I can sort of zoom in. We do have some editing tools and things like that, and I don't really see anything that that needs editing, but you can click on modules and move around. You can click on a row and add and delete modules and things like that. It's not very common, but it is something that you can do. So as I continue across these tabs here, there's a details tab, and this just kind of provides some summary information about the layout that I've just done. If you want to change anything, you can go back here and you can change it. You can pick a different module. You can change the size. You can change the font, and so we see customers sometimes going in and just trying to find the right font, or I wonder what this layout would look like with this other module, for example. But when I've got it to my liking, I then click on PDF, and so it makes this PDF, and this is a multi-page PDF. So the first page is going to have the layout, and it's going to have some information below here, and many of you have probably seen this format from us. The second page here has some details, and this is similar to the details tab that we just looked at, including the power supply load. So it looks like here that possibly I could have done maybe 2 60-watt drivers might have been more efficient than 2 96s. And so that's something that would be able to, I could go back and change that pretty easily. Okay, so that's it, and that's my channel letter layout. If you wanted to do Halo, I'll just show this real fast without going through the entire process. But let's say that you have much larger letters and you want to do a Halo layout. You can set an offset value, which is how far that run's going to be off of the return. And what's fun about Halo layouts is, we can use, smaller modules. So if I actually switch to a mini red module to get a really clean Halo look, so that looks really nice. That's a 1 inch off the return Halo layout with Prism Synergy Mini Red. So again, yeah, easy change to change the type of the layout from face to Halo. Okay, moving along, I'm going to go ahead and show you a cabinet. And so the cabinet interface here, there's a lot of options for cabinets. We've actually added several things. So there's a lot you can do beyond just a rectangle. Cabinets, you can set a height and a width. We can do single-sided or double-sided. Cabinets, you can do face lit, halo lit, side lit with our pod modules, or hybrid. And hybrid is where you have an inline around the outside, and then you have parallel rows in between that. I'm going to make the can depth 8 inches. You can also set the orientation as vertical, horizontal, or rotated to match. If you rotate the cabinet, you can also rotate the rows of modules. Again, a voltage. In fact, this time I won't select any options here just to show you what the drop-down list might look like if you don't do any filtering. Our sticks are going to come up first. We of course also have Sloan Signbox 3 modules in here, both on the strap and just as regular modules. Then we have our Prism Synergy, our Quick Mod series, our Patriot series, Pinnacle modules, Prism 12, Prism 24. So this is why we do filtering, because there are a lot of products to choose from. But I'll go ahead and just select the Synergy stick, and it selects a 48-inch stick because that's the height of my cabinet. And for now, I'll just do this as a starting point. So that's a real basic cabinet. So again, if this is what comes in, go on here in Easy Layout Builder, and you can do it really quickly. To make this a little bit more interesting, if I make this into an ellipse, then I can still use the same Synergy stick products, Synergy stick HO. I really didn't have to do anything other than just make this into an ellipse, and it will select the optimal size stick that's going to fit that shape. We also have polygons, so you can do, for example, a 6-sided polygon, and you'll get a layout like that. You can also add a little radius. So let's say that you have radius corners, so that's a polygon with a radius. So you can see that there are quite a few options. So without getting too deep into this, because there's other stuff that I want to talk about, that is an example of doing a cabinet layout. And feel free to go on here at any point and play around with this and do some different shapes. My PDF now has both this text layout, this halo layout that I did, as well as this cabinet that I made, and you can see that it's going to list the different size sticks here in the template. And then my details page, there's one for letters and there's one for text as well. I have one for cabinet. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you on Easy Layout Builder. Again, this is of course free and open to everyone to go in and make your layouts. Okay. I'll take a breath for a sec. Are there any questions about the Easy Layout Builder?
Nope, there's no questions so far.
All right, terrific. Okay, so I want to talk about the layout team, our internal layout team. So this is not a picture of the layout team. This is an older picture of some of the staff for Principal. I think we probably need a new company picture. We have layout folks in San Angelo, where this picture was taken, and of course out here in Ventura, where Sloan LED is located, and where we're located. I say 6 to 8 plus full-time layout staff. The team grows in strength as needed, mostly grows, and so there are a lot of folks internally who do layouts and step in depending on what the queue looks like and what the jobs are. A lot of the jobs that come into the layout team, again, custom art programs, unique jobs, these specialty layouts that I mentioned before. And really our team is the best in the industry. I mean, they really are. These guys are all day, every day, doing layouts and supporting customers, supporting our distributors. And so these guys are a great resource. And I only ask that you help them help you. And what I mean by that is, provide all the information that they need in order to do your job. So if something critical is missing, like the can depth of a channel letter set, that's going to require them to have to come back out to you and confirm that information before we can do the layout. All of our density guidelines are built into our systems. And so in terms of compatibility of modules and density guidelines, which is, spacing and rows, things like that. And there's a lot of jargon in our industry. There's a lot of terms. I've been in this industry for a long time, and we throw terms around that maybe not everybody agrees with. Sending in a layout, calling it standard depth, or saying that it has an acrylic face is not all that specific, right? So the more specific, the better in terms of the information that comes into our team so that they can do the job. If they do have to go back to you with questions, if you promptly answer them, that job can continue. You don't want the job to be put at the end of the queue and be put on hold, and the layout person, picks up another job. And so answer those quickly. And what I tell the layout team is, be available to be educated. You're going to learn new things from customers and new jobs every day. And I ask our customers to do the same thing, is allow yourself to be educated. Our team might educate you on the best product to use. It might be different from the product that you thought, or the product that you have in stock. Our team might educate you on file formats and the difference between a vector file and a bitmap file, and why a PDF is better than a DXF or something like this. And that's good information. And sometimes something that you put in isn't going to work, at least the way that you described it. In which case our team might come back and say, I don't think that's going to work. Maybe if we tried this other way, or this other product, or we did something different. And so I think keeping some of these things in mind, and I know a lot of you know these things already, keeps our layout team going. So by the way, layouts at pindustries.com is the new email address for layouts. Layouts at p-led.com I'm sure will still work for some period of time, but pindustries.com is the new address. Okay, now to LED Wizard 8, and this is again our desktop software that will import your custom artwork. I'm going to show that to you in a minute. LED Wizard 8 is both a sales tool and a production tool, and I think it is most often thought of as a sales tool to create estimates, and that's certainly true. I mentioned at the beginning there are some production tools with the software that, if we have time here, that I'll be able to show you. And this is a unique tool in the industry. Obviously, this is a tool that we own. This is a tool that we are actively developing all the time to support new products and support new types of signs that are made. And so it is pretty unique in our business. What isn't the software? It's not the only thing that a sign shop needs in terms of software. You can see over here with some of these logos and some of these products, we work in conjunction with front-end design software, right? Whether that's sign making software, general graphic software, CAD software. A lot of art and a lot of files are run through these other programs before they get into LED Wizard 8. And then there are other products that are further down the line, such as en route and such as these panel letter bending machines, routers, things like that. So oftentimes when we train on LED Wizard and we get LED Wizard into a new shop, there's a little bit of time kind of figuring out where it goes and exactly what it's going to do. Because LED Wizard 8 is a big program. It does a lot of things. It may duplicate some functions that you're already doing in other software, in which case you might not want to use those, but you can. And so sometimes someone decides they like the way that we do something better, and so instead of doing that in Corel Draw, they're going to do that in LED Wizard, and that's just part of figuring out the fit. So it's not easy to learn in 20 minutes. Again, there's quite a bit to it. So we do training classes. I do training classes that usually range from 90 to 120 minutes. And if you're interested in that, I have a 64-slide PowerPoint that I go through, and we go in the software, we import files, we make layouts. So that is something that's available to you. This isn't for use by competitors, so we have limited brands on the platform. We don't support all brands in the industry, either here in the U.S. or globally. And so, this is for use with our products and by our customers and partners. In terms of getting the software, so this is a cloud-based software program, and you can sign up at our LED Wizard 8 store, and this is the address store.ledwizard8.com. When you go to that store, you can sign up for a new account, and there is pricing on the next slide. And when you sign up, it's basic information, usual deal. When you make an account, sign in. There's an interface in the store for you to select the product that you want, the number of users, and this sort of thing. So I think it's a pretty standard deal. And in terms of pricing, so we do have a free version, and excuse me. This free version is not a truncated version that lets you do very little. It's actually quite full functional. There are some additional things here in this production edition, and we do charge for that one, $24.95 a month. But the free version, most of what I'll show you today is supported in the free version. We also have 3 options for support. We have our documentation website. We have our basic support, which is email and phone. And then we have our premium support, which is us getting on your computer, going through your files, getting on your system, that sort of thing. And so so 3 different support options. And this is all you can sign up for all these things in the store. Okay, so I'd like to just talk for a minute about the workflow in LED Wizard 8. And so this workflow that I'll outline here is pretty standard in the software, and will support most jobs will go through the exact workflow that I'm describing. The very first step here is importing your artwork, and I mentioned a couple of different file formats. So we support vector files and we support bitmap files. Vector files, PDF is probably the most common, followed by maybe AI, EPS, DXF. These are all vector formats that we can import. We can import bitmap files, sometimes PDF files or bitmap files. We can support and import JPEGs and PNGs, PSDs, or Photoshop files that are bitmap files. We always prefer vector art, and sometimes we require vector art depending on what the job is. But sometimes if you're doing a retrofit and you have a photograph of a building and that's all you have, then we can work with that. In the software, we have a terrific text tool that largely came from our Sign Wizard product. We can design shapes, and you can freehand draw, and you can weld things together. You can outline. I mean, there's quite a few design tools. Generally, 90% plus of the time, artwork is imported, but we can do some original design work, and we can merge things together. You can import a logo, and then you can type in some text, for example. So that's import. Once your artwork is imported and it's scaled to the right size, then we go into our population tools. And this is really the heart of the software in terms of making the layout. We, of course, have all of our modules in here with the same kind of filtering that I showed you on Easy Layout. And of course, behind this system is our density guidelines, and I'll explain that when we do a layout. We have auto population tools for text and logos. We have some different tools for cabinets and shapes, again, similar to what we did in the online version. You can click and drag a path through a letter. You can freehand draw just a shape, or freehand draw a path on a picture, for example. And of course, we have module editing tools, which is changing density, putting in more modules or taking modules out, things like that, to sort of fine tune the layout. But this is really, again, the heart of the software. We call this PowerFlow, is our name, umbrella name for all these technologies of laying out. After we've done the layout, then we add power supplies, and we have several different options here in terms of how you want to load up your sign with your drivers. Are they self-contained, one per letter? Is it a small job where everything goes on one driver? We of course have our list of drivers here, and this list needs to be updated because we don't have all these anymore. We have some new ones, but in the software you'll see the list of available drivers, and then we actually have the power supply label, which again can be customized. It shows the load percentage and how many modules and the watts and the driver name and that sort of thing. So a lot of customization actually available with power supplies in terms of what this label looks like and how big it is and where it goes and that sort of thing. So that's power supplies. Once that's done, then we're ready to merge this into our title block template. And this title block template is a Sloan version, obviously. So we have different templates for different products, different purposes, quite a few different ones that we use internally. And again, if you've gotten layouts from us in the past, this one or the Principal one will look familiar. But this is going to roll up the stats. It's going to show you, how many modules, how many drivers. It's going to show the power supply. It's going to have some disclaimers and the opportunity to put in job name and things like that. And these templates, by the way, are customizable, meaning that your shop can make your own. Instead of the Sloan logo on there, it could be your logo. We have a lot of different data fields that are possible in terms of data that you want to capture from the layout. Some of that data, such as area and perimeter, are useful for estimating other materials besides just the LEDs and drivers. And so it's beyond the scope of what we have time for today, but we do have a lot of customization available for title blocks. Okay, very last step, exporting. And so there are really two kinds of exports. There's this export, which is the PDF that is scaled down to a page size. And then there's this export, which is a full-scale DXF file. Okay, so this is what a file might look like that goes out to your router. It has our module markings here. It has a mounting holes. So we have a really nice automated mounting holes tool feature. And so you can see those holes on this layout. And so that's sort of the second option with the production edition, which is to export this as a full scale and to utilize those files in your production system. And so this slide just kind of rolls up what I've been saying. There is some potential automation for populating, loading drivers, and going into a title block. If you have something that's pretty simple, you can actually kind of batch these things up together, and it does this all sequentially. It's really nice on something that's a little bit cleaner. But for the most part, this is the workflow. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to the software and show you everything that I've been discussing. We'll do a text layout. I'll import some text, and then we'll do a little cabinet layout, maybe a cloud sign. And I just mentioned on here again to contact me. My contact information is at the end. If you want support, if you want some installation or training support, again, that's what one of the things that we do in my group. Okay, so here's LED Wizard 8. I'll pause one more time if you guys have any questions before I continue. All right.
Nothing in the Q&A.
Okay. Well, it's about to get a lot more interesting here, I think, as we actually go through and do this. There might be some things that come up. So this is this is the standard LED wizard screen as it comes up. And so the first thing that I'll do to be consistent with what I was just saying is import a file. And we actually have a function that we call import crop. So when I select a PDF file here and I go into this preview window, if I draw a box around what I want to keep, just what I want to import, I can import only this text that says Desert Valley. And so I can skip the picture and I can skip the title block and anything else that I don't really need. I know the dimension of this layout because I've worked with this file before. These are 18-inch letters. So that's a quick bypass of all the rest of this stuff that I'm not going to need. And generally, this is the way we do it. You know, if you need to reference that PDF, you can pull that up separately in a separate window and look at that detail. But we don't need all of that in our software. So I'm going to click on import, and when I do that, it comes into the layout window, and it lands in our data cleanup tool. Okay, and our data cleanup tool is a way to is a way for me to select the art that I want to keep out of this file that I've imported. And you can see as I move my mouse around here that I'm able to select what was the green letters, and the other path here. Sure that I'm getting the right thing here. The other path is that shadow in the back, that black shadow, and I just want to select, if I can here. Don't want the black. I just want the. Looks like this one is backwards for some reason. Zoom in a little tighter, so it's like a toggle. And there is a shortcut on this that I could deploy, which does this by color. I don't like to do too many shortcuts in a demo because it's hard to see exactly what I'm doing. Just make sure that I get. Okay. That looks like that I have all the correct items. And in this interface too, I can put a new height. So I mentioned that these are 18-inch letters, so I'd be able just to put in 18 inches right here, and then I'm going to click on extract and scale. And when I do extract and scale, so it selects the text items that I've selected, and then it scales them up. So this is the full size. It looks like I moved the Y inadvertently. Oh, and the E, so I'll have to fix those. But this is the full size. These are 18-inch letters. And now you can actually see the nodes on here, right? And you can see, that I've got, I think this is actually Bezier curves and some lines. And so I'd have the opportunity here to clean this data up if it needed it. And there are some different cleanup tools here. There's optimize vectors, and this actually converts it to lines and arcs. I'll go ahead and do that. If our data is going to end up being exported to a CNC machine, it's going to need to be a DXF file, and a DXF file is lines and arcs. And so by converting this to lines and arcs now, I've already sort of done that. But I can go back and I can use any of these different cleanup tools in order to do that. So it looks like actually that I did select the wrong E. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this green E, drag that guy over, and delete the black one. It looks like this one has is in the right spot. So this would be my imported art. I can select this now, and I've got it scaled, and so I'd be ready to go into. So let me scale this up because that one was out of adjustment. not being super precise here. It's not a real job, but I've made that 18 inches now. My scale is a little bit off. So if there's no other editing or anything to do with this file, I would then click on PowerFlow, and that's in this toolbar over here. And PowerFlow is what brings us into again all the functions that will create the LED layout. And so I want to talk about the property bar up here and some of these options. And this is again similar to what we did in Easy Layout Builder. We have our brand listing here. We have our modules, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do Prism Synergy Mini Whites. We'll talk about cabinet modules here in a minute, but you know, some old favorites here. There's Quick Mod and there's Patriot and Prism Synergy line. So I'll do Prism Synergy Mini Colors. Actually, oh, I guess I can do green, and then I can select my can depth. And so what you'll notice in the can depth list is that, you know, this doesn't go from, you know, 1 to 15 or whatever it did on the online version in this case, because I've already selected my module. And so the software now tells me for that module that the can depth range is 2 inches to 5 inches. So if I had an 8-inch, you know, depth, I would select a different module. Okay, so, but let's do 4 inches. And based on all those filters, I have Prism Synergy Mini Green. And let me just zoom in here. So you can see that the software has created a center path inside of this stroke. And the software will read that stroke and say that it's 1.8 inches wide, which is clearly just a single run of LEDs. If these were very large letters, then I might get 2 runs or I might get 3 runs. But of course, on something that's small and that's thin, I'm going to get a single run. I also have a spacing value, and this comes out of our density guidelines. So for this module at 4-inch depth, my spacing value is 4.8, and that's a center-to-center measurement, and that equates to 2.5 modules a foot. And so that's the density. Doesn't mean it'll be exactly like that because we have to space according to the letters in the stroke. But that's the target. So I'm going to go ahead and accept all this. I could make some editing changes if I wanted to, but I don't see the need to do that now. And I'm going to go over here and click on Populate All. So even though when I go in here and I go into the first letter, that it's only showing me the path on the first letter, that's just to sort of set the density guidelines that I'm going to use. It will then go through all the letters and create that path and place those modules in. So this green comes up. It's like a neon green. It looks like it's a very bright green, and so that is that's what my layout looks like. Now I do have the opportunity to go in here. It looks like this one. Populated twice, so I had a separate run in here, which I just deleted. So if I want to make any, still got first letter must be duplicated in some way. So, if I want to make any editing changes to the modules here, you know, it's pretty easy to do so. You can see that I'm just clicking and dragging these modules. I'm not pressing any keys or anything at this point. So I can slide the module along here. You know, if I move the module too far, I get these red wires here, and that indicates that you know, that I've stretched that module too far. So you want to avoid that unless it's a splice, which is intentional, and then in that case you'd want to have a red module. We also have the concept of a selection of modules, and so what I've done is I clicked on this module and then I held the Shift key and then I click on this one, and now I have this as a selection. And once I have a selection of modules, I have some different options for adjusting the spacing. So, you know, this icon will insert a module. This one will take one out. And it just sort of gives me the opportunity to adjust the spacing and adjust the module count. You know, I can also do that. Let's say that I want another module in here. I don't think I need it, but just to show you, you know, we have this little sort of preview module, we call it, that's attached to the mouse position. Delete that. And so when I select this module, I sort of have this preview that's attached here, and then I can just click, and then it'll insert a module into that space. So I mentioned that there are sort of some manual tools, and you can kind of click and drag your way around to add modules, and it's kind of that concept where you just go around and you just you know, position the module. I can show you here on the S what that looks like. So I've cleared the modules out, and so I'm just looking at the other letters, trying to maintain sort of similar spacing. I've already got the path here because the software's figured out what that center path is. And so if you know, if I'm inclined to do that, I can go around and just position my modules like that. If I decide after I've done that, hey, maybe I want to put one more module, then I can do that. If I want to respace, then it's this one. So some of these tools, you know, become very second nature, and it becomes very fast to go in here and make these kinds of layouts and do that sort of editing.